This section is all about genetics and we'll be covering everything from what an exon is to the dystrophin gene itself. This can be complicated and different to experience you've had or things you've been taught. So if you have any questions, please get in contact with us. If you find these videos useful, then we have more on our YouTube channel and website for you to go through at your own pace and leisure. We encourage you to share these as much as you can. Thank you.
Noreen, so in one of our videos, we have discussed the chromosome, the double helix structure of DNA, which is the part of chromosome, and the small part of DNA, which is a gene. But today I would like to talk about a very specific gene, the dystrophin gene. We know that it is the largest gene in the human body, but the problem in the genetic code of this gene, in the blueprint of this gene, causes the Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
Yeah, the gene for dystrophin, or the recipe manual for dystrophin, is quite massive. It spans over 2.5 million base pairs. Base pairs, remember, the base pairs are the little alphabets. That's 2.5 million base pairs, consisting of 79 exons. And the dystrophin gene provides instructions for producing a protein that we've discussed before as well, called dystrophin. And the protein is primarily found in the skeletal muscle, the cardiac muscle, and also the smooth muscles which are found in the internal organs of our body. And it plays a really crucial role in strengthening the muscle fibers, and protecting them from external injury during muscle movement, contraction. So it is really important to have dystrophin to keep the muscles of the body healthy, and functioning in an appropriate way, and protecting them from external injury.
Exactly, as you said, so dystrophin is the shield for our muscles. It serves as a shock absorber and protects our muscles from damage. So dystrophin forms a complex with other proteins, and this complex is known as dystrophin-associated glycoprotein complex, or DGC, and hopefully you will see the image. So basically this complex, it acts as an anchor or as a glue that helps the dystrophin to connect to sarcolemma, which is the protective membrane for the myofibers. So on the one hand, it connects to the sarcolemma, and on the other hand side, it connects to actin. So it's basically the structural framework within muscle cells, with the proteins and the molecules that are outside the cells. And dystrophin basically helps to reinforce the muscles and maintain their integrity.
Absolutely. So I think what's really important to understand about dystrophin and its location in the muscle is really that it's like itself, the protein or the product, the dystrophin itself physically is like a rod-like long structure, and we'll show you the image on the screen. And one end of it is connected on the inside of the muscle. So internally, it's called the actin filaments, and these are really like an elastic band. Really, they're moving constantly. Like right now my arm is moving. I don't know if you can see, my actin fibers are inside the muscle. There are these tubes, these muscle fibers. So dystrophin connects to the actin fiber inside the muscle, and then the other end of the dystrophin connects to the outside membrane, which is called the sarcolemma, the one that surrounds the muscle fibers. There's loads of muscle fibers that come together to make a muscle, and in each of these muscle fibers there's a dystrophin rod sitting, connecting the inside to the outside, essentially. And it's actually, if you think of this as a dystrophin, the outside, the inside, and that's the inside of the muscle, the outside, that's a whole muscle fiber. It's just moving like that. So all these rods are moving like this. There's little thread-like dystrophin in each of them moving like this. And you can imagine there's a whole structure that has been put together and contained and protected and moving with these little thread-like structures. And if you, for some reason, let's say the dystrophin is gone, this is the two outside and inside layer, inside, outside, and then it's gone, the whole muscle fiber structure would just collapse because there'd be nothing to hold it. So that is why dystrophin is so important. And hopefully we'll have an image up on the screen that'll actually clarify how it's sitting and connecting the muscle fibers. And I have mentioned before that dystrophin is primarily found in the muscles of the body. However, small amount of dystrophin is also present in the nerve cells in the brain. And research suggests that dystrophin plays a very crucial role in the structure and function of brain sort of signals, synapses, which are connections between nerve cells that allow the cell-to-cell communication. So dystrophin has a very important role in the, well, I mean, we are still discovering the role in the brain, but there's a suggestion that it allows for that communication between the cells in the brain.
Yeah, that's correct. The function of the dystrophin in the muscle is very well understood and described in many scientific papers, but the function of dystrophin in the brain is still under investigation. People, scientists, clinicians are still trying to figure out the exact link and what's going on in the brain when there is a lack of dystrophin or no dystrophin. So it appears to be very important for the proper functioning of synapses, or as you said, the communication between the cells in our brain. And this is obviously essential for the normal brain activity.
Absolutely. And like going back to the point of the Duchenne, the gene, the dystrophin gene is so big and has a lot of different functions that the problem with the gene, or a problem, sorry, with the gene, or a change or a mutation can lead to genetic conditions, can lead to, because this particular dystrophin product, which is made by the dystrophin gene, primarily sits in the muscles. So a small change can lead to lots of sort of problems with muscle function. And so mutation in the dystrophin gene are responsible for a condition we're talking about, Duchenne muscular dystrophy, other types of muscular dystrophies. These mutations can be deletions or duplications or small mutations or other rearrangement that disrupt the whole reading frame or the recipe of the gene. So does that make sense? Any change in the whole recipe of making dystrophin can actually have an impact on how our muscles work.
Yes, unfortunately, Duchenne muscular dystrophy leads to the loss of dystrophin expression, and it can cause severe muscle wasting, respiratory, and cardiac problems. So without dystrophin, the whole complex which we were talking about, which we just explained, is disrupted. And it's leading to the membrane instability, and muscle become more and more susceptible to damage and to necrosis. And hopefully you watched one of the videos where we were discussing the histology behind Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and you will see in the video that the muscle tissues are replaced by the connective tissue, which has completely different functions in our muscles.
And it's important to understand that the loss of dystrophin also affects muscle regeneration or repair. So the ability of muscle fibers to fix themselves is also compromised. And I think that's also really something that emphasizes or enhances the damage that's already going on because of the lack of dystrophin gene working properly, or the recipe manual. You can have that muscle that is not able to regenerate now, and the damaged muscle is often replaced by sort of fibroadipose fatty tissue instead of healthy muscle fibers. And I think I might like to hear at this point a little bit mention about the role of inflammation as well. So we've got that mutation induced damage, which is that you have the recipe manual or the dystrophin gene, something is wrong, something changes in it, so dystrophin is not being made. So you have that damage because there's no dystrophin in there. Like I showed, it connects from the inside to the outside. Without dystrophin, the muscle fibers undergo damage. However, your immune system, its job is to try to fix and repair our body. So what it does is the immune system sends cells to the site and say, repair this muscle that's being damaged. However, it is a damage that the immune system cannot fix because it is due to a genetic cause. So the immune system in the end actually results in causing more damage. That damage is called inflammation-induced damage. So there's the mutation-induced damage, and then there's the inflammation-induced damage. So you end up in an endless cycle of trying to fix it and then repair it, and regeneration, and it ends up damaging the muscle more. We will dive into this, hopefully in some of our next videos, but that is why steroids are important. Steroids are actually just focused on dampening that reaction from the immune response, anti-inflammatories, whereas we are focused on therapies that are targeting the mutations, like gene therapy, exon skipping, or looking into the actual genetic cause of it and trying to fix that.
Yeah, this information is crucial to understand about the muscle, about the inflammation and what's happening, what it's causing this inflammation. But I appreciate it also not an easy information to hear. And from Science on Tour, from all the communications with the families, we talk to them a lot. And we hear from those families how hard the challenges faced by Duchenne individuals are. And, I would just like to add here that researchers are constantly making progress in finding new treatments and therapies to help the condition, to help Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
Absolutely. And there is an ongoing research to develop therapies and interventions that can improve the lives of people living with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And I think understanding the dystrophin gene and its functions is a crucial step in finding effective treatments and hopefully one day, dare I say, a cure.
Here at Action Duchenne, we are committed to inform, but also support you through your Duchenne journey. If you'd like to talk about anything raised in this video, please feel free to contact us on 07535 498 506, or alternatively, email us at info@actionduchenne.org. Thank you.